fine.
Oh, there we are. I
Yeah,
believe
is
we're
it
back.
working again?
Yeah, I believe we are back live with Racing for the Weekend. Apologies for the technical issues we are facing. We have absolutely no idea what just happened. But,
I took a screen from my Discord and just put it over my Streamlabs and then pulled it away again. I do that normally when I need to write some have to read some messages. And I saw that my Streamlabs just went from black to coming back again, so all was live at my end. But yeah, I saw the viewers went to 0, so I was like, what's happening?
huge apologies for that one. In the meantime, what we have we missed? Let's catch you back up on track. And it's Thijs van der Hoorn, who's currently on provisional pole to the tune of a 1:34.905. Jonathan Wackstrom, only 1/100th of a second behind, and Desert Penguin, I think that was definitely just a sighter lap from him, about a second back. Stein Hilshorst is the only driver to have set a time valid in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo class at this moment in time, and Matt Sill, likewise, the only one to have set one in the GT4 category. It looks like him and Ruben Solly going to be running around in the GT4s this race. 4 minutes of qualifying left to go, and ignore that weather warning. It does say it's going to get rainy, but the let's focus on the one that's currently available. It's dry, but the track is greasy again at 9 degrees, so very difficult situation there and sort of conditions for the drivers here. So hopefully we'll be up and running in next no time.
Yeah, indeed. Greasy track conditions. That was like race 1. Tech Trump is now 1 degrees more than in race 1. So yeah, the Cracker, who you said, that's the guy who organized all the 65 of the Racing to the Weekends. And we started out with 2-3 people on a stream, and now we had full servers. And yeah, if people have some other plans, it could be, then it's a little bit less, but yeah, we have a lot of fun here. So yeah, thanks for Cracker for never giving up and sticking around and doing so much work. And don't forget, in the meantime, he has a job. He works like, I think, 60, 70 hours a week to get his job done, own company-like. So yeah, he's such an amazing guy, and such an amazing work that he does. He deserves more from DSRT as well.
Yeah, I think I can speak on the driver side of things. He's our team manager, so he's always making sure that we're not only feeling well, but he's making sure that we're going into races confident with the right tools at our disposal, and making sure that our setups are correct and all that sort of thing. And yeah, Remco puts a huge amount of work behind the scenes, as do yourself, Mr. Guru, to make sure that this team can be fighting for those top positions. So yeah, he's really embarking on the never give up strategy, and yeah, nice to see that he's done so well with racing for the weekend. Sadly, can't be here tonight. Like I said before, I don't know if we cut off stream, but he's too busy yeeting an LMP1 around Le Mans for a race that we've got in a couple of months' time. So yeah, getting the preparations done for that one to make sure that we, as the drivers, have got the right tools at our disposal, and he'll be actually driving that one. So yeah, it should be interesting to see.
Yeah, very interesting to see. And yeah, if you want to follow, give us a follow here on the stream as well. And sometimes Impulse streams the point of view and the races, the endurance ones as well. It's DSRT.twitch/impulse_010 when I'm correct. You can see him below our stream as well as one of the guys that you need to follow. So give him a follow as well. In the meantime, Chris Muller set the provisional pole here. Vroman Rats went off track there, so it's not a great time. Thijs van der Hoorn still in the pit. 1 minute and 10 seconds almost remaining for this qualification on a greasy track. Wackstrom down in P4, and this guy, Stein Hilshorst, is improving his lap time now a little bit, but not enough at this point. Then we go to Mr. Desert Penguin, who's currently over the straight line here and will set a time. Time to beat is a 1:34.3, and he didn't. That's surprising.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've noticed this, that Desert Penguin is actually falling behind a Lamborghini Super Trofeo Now, the Super Trofeo isn't that much slower around this track, if I can recall correctly. However, Desert Penguin is usually one of the aliens within DSRT, and a newly appointed Legends status driver. So we fully expect him to be up there, but obviously struggling with something at this moment in time, as he's now falling a little bit further back as Chris Muller sets a 1:33.620, 8 tenths faster than Thomas Brownrouts in P2. So yeah, we're going to see these lap times hopefully fall down as we're approaching the end now. So 5 seconds left to go. Nino Burek might just get another lap in. I don't think he will. There you are. There's a checker flag, and Nino just missed his opportunity to get another one. That's the end of qualifying for him with a 1:36.4. Puts himself currently P7. Let's see who's next to set a lap time. I think number 5. That's Stein Hilhorst. He goes a lot faster, doesn't he? He's just gained heaps of time, and in a Super Trofeo finds himself in P3 overall, which is great to see. There's a Penguin next on track now. Let's see if he's managed to put the pieces together and finally set a valid lap time. As we can see, pushing through the last sector where he made that fantastic move in race 2, didn't he? And coming out to set his lap time. And I think this is going to be his one sole effort at trying to get a decent lap in, and unfortunately, does improve, but not that much. Stays P6 at the moment. Jonathan Ratstrom, he wrapped up his in P5. Ruben Soli now in the Maserati. Going to be going through. You're probably wondering why that Maserati is a little bit slower and a little bit more sideways, and that's because it's a GT4 category. So himself and Matt Sill, you'll see with a little blue tick, find themselves towards the back of the field, and that's not because they're slow, that's just because they're in a completely slower category of cars. So Ruben Solid currently has the pole position out of the two drivers here. Let's see if we can improve on his lap time as he comes across the line here. Last person to set a valid lap, and sets it.
Yep, sets it.
Does improve, yes.
Does improve on a 1:43.135 as yeah, the endings here on the screen are still there. So pole position then for Ruben Solly in that GT4 light class, and Chris Muller takes pole position in the GT3 class. I see rain. Let's jump to the race. Jesus.
Oh,
this
goodness.
is a rain race. So if you are watching the stream and playing the bingo, and you have must compete in a wet race, something like that. When I see correctly, it doesn't stop raining. So I think it's time for a wiper check, and yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, you can swipe that one away.
Yeah, something interesting to note is, although it says it's going to ease in 10 minutes' time, I generally do not think that that's going to affect anything to do with these drivers. And the people that are probably going to suffer the most are those GT4 drivers. Ruben Solly, Matt Sill, they don't have any assists in those cars. The traction control and ABS, I believe, is very limited, if at all any, in that car. And you'll probably see, we saw how sideways Ruben Solly was on his last push lap. That was it in dry conditions. Could you imagine when the track gets wet? So interesting to see as we're about to start race 3 of the weekend, and just see Thijs van der Hoorn lowering the car down, getting ready to race, getting his last minute pressures in for the wet weather condition. It will be Chris Muller ahead of Thomas Brownrats. And Hilhorst, he had a fantastic qualifying in a different category of car, traditionally just a little bit slower, and finds himself in P3 ahead of Thijs van der Hoorn, our standings leader. Jonathan Webster on P5, and Desert Penguin, with a rather disappointing qualifying, finds himself in probably one of the lowest places I've seen in a long time. P6, let's see what he can do from that position. Got plenty of drivers further back that can also cause a little bit of mayhem as we go lights out. Away we go, and Thijs van der Hoorn immediately going into the second sort of middle area gives Stein Hilhorst a little bit of a squeeze on the corner exit, and just breezes past. That's Desert Penguin there in that McLaren just behind him. Watch out for that, guys. Thijs goes a little bit wide, and Stein, funnily enough, having to back off, and that's allowed Desert Penguin through. So Desert Penguin already up 2 places. Stein Hilhorst, a little bit of misunderstanding on the grip, finds himself fall back a little bit, but still in the lead of the Super Trofeo class. Let's focus on the front of the pack, and Chris Muller's starting to run away with this one ever so slightly. In fact, no, I tell a lie. It's Thomas Brownrats that's overtook him on the start of the lap. Chris Muller, P2. Thijs van der Hoorn with a great start, finds himself P3. Desert Penguin with a little bit more pace than what we expected. They're P4 ahead of Bradley Burgett, P5. That in Hillhorse with that mistake finds himself P6. Jonathan Watchman P7. Then it's Nino ahead of Zvonimir, the two Burek brothers, and Ruben Solly rounds out our top 10 overall, but also the lead of the GT4 class. Mr. Guru, what a great start.
Yeah, great and clean start in these wet conditions, and that Stein Hillhorse, yeah, you could see it. Mistake there from Chris Muller, car 21. That was a collection, I guess. No, that was the race start there. There was a little bit of a collection, sorry. But yeah, then there was a mistake, too hard on the curves down from him. With the unsettled car, and yeah, he's just lost the positions there then. Frauenrad's in first position. And look at that guy, Mr. Desert Penguin started the 6th here and now currently in P2 with Bradley Burgett behind him, 0.6 of a second. The fastest outlap then is for Desert Penguin. You can see the purple timing there in the screen. Mr. Hillhorst is was just overtaken by Nino Burek, I guess. And Nino Burek now takes a position again because Stein went a little bit off track. So difficult. Jesus Christ, I'm just talking and everything happens on track. Mr. Pilleman Jansen, Solly and Matt Sill, they're in a collision with each other. Let me see if I can see. Oh, jeez. Contact. Yeah. Let me see, 21? Nah, that was this?
Oh, this could be the answer, as we can see them.
No, that was.
Looks like race start from the.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Let's go back here then. This was the contact.
So it's the number 21 of Chris Muller trying to get past, and I'm not even sure if contact was made.
Nah, it said possible contact. It was possible contact, but I don't think there was contact. I think he just lost it on himself here.
Ruben, he'll be able to tell us at the end of this race, but
in the meantime,
Mr. Bradley Burgett ahead of Desert Penguin. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I believe Mr. Penguin must have made a mistake, but these two very, very good, very close teammates in the AOR Endurance League that was technically still is going on. We've got Laguna Seca vastly approaching for these guys, and Bradley Burgett never gives up. He's always part of it, and very good in these wet conditions. I think he'll be happy over the fact that he's passed an alien tonight, and also finds himself in P2 at the moment with the likes of Mr. Desert Penguin, Mr. Thijs van der Hoorn, the Burek brothers, and Chris Muller all behind him. So I think he'll be very happy that he's in P2 at the moment.
And Frauenrad's just extended the gap to 6.5 seconds against Bradley Burgett. Like you said, Bradley Burgett just overtook Desert Penguin there. Desert is not in the pace that he was in race 1, but yeah, still going strong in P3 there. Wexstrom, whole the race, he was in the front there in the top 5. So a really nice racing to the weekend from him. Thijs van der Hoorn then in P5, currently 0.7 seconds away from Mr. Wexstrom. And yeah, the thing that I wanted to say is, why does everything happen at the same time? Give me some room for replays, because we are missing a lot when I do the replays and checking things out. As Thijs van der Hoorn now really closing that battle then here with Wexstrom and trying to make a move somewhere, but he's just pointing his nose and yeah, letting him see in the mirrors of Mr. Wexstrom to make him nervous. But can the Boatley make can he get nervous? And a car that's normally in the beginning of ACC was so great in the wets, but I don't know, is it still great in the wet?
It's not bad, shall we say. It's probably one of the better cars in the wet condition. We just see Jonathan make that ever so slight mistake, and that's possibly going to lie Thijs through too wide going through that. I always find that incredibly difficult because it's very tight through that section, and Thijs looks like he's got the move done there. Yep, up into P4 for Mr. van der Hoorn. Yeah, just going back to the Bentley, yeah, it's not bad in these conditions, and I think if we look at the P3, 4 and 5, as we also see Marcel off, unfortunately, finding himself in the barrier again, like he did in race 2, unfortunately. But yeah, going back to this, P3, 4 and 5 is a McLaren, a Porsche and a Bentley. I think all three of them have had their prime within the game. The Bentley, very good when it first started, and the game first came out, very, very rapid. The Porsche, it's had its moment, as we've seen Thijs van der Hoorn guide that through to the 4 hours of Donington win that they had in GRG Endurance last year. That was when the Porsche was almost at the height of its prime. And the McLaren rather recently that was found himself absolutely rapid. Another car that's found itself absolutely rapid is P9 here, and the new Audi seems to be the way forward for these drivers. And we can see Bradley Burgett using it. He's currently in P2. Guy who's made a mistake. Oh, and another guy that has made a mistake is Jonathan Wackstrom. Found himself in P7 again and probably yeeted himself over the curbs too much, and finds this battle of Chris Muller and Nino Burek starting to breathe down the neck.
In the meantime, what I could see here is that Hilhorst just overtook Mr. Burek, the Zvonimir, the Cerveza brother. A little bit off track there from him, and it was Stijn Hilhorst who took the position away then. So Hilhorst now leading that ST. Oh, Jesus Christ, a few cars off now. It's Nino Burek, Chris Muller, and Ruben Solly making mistakes there. I don't know, 3 and 21. I have to see, I have to get this replay.
Yeah, let's just have a look at the replay here, and it's, as we can see, GT3 having a lot more corner speed. I think Chris Muller just finds himself caught out by that more than anything, and sadly ends up making the contact with Nino Burek. Allows him to get the position back though, which is always nice and very respectful to see.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Sorry, just going back onto the battle here, Thijs van der Hoorn, he's actually caught back up to Desert Penguin and is starting to show a little bit more pace here. So our standings leader had a rather uneventful race 2, and I believe race 1 was not going his way. Finds himself back where he belongs, towards that top 3 again. And you often wonder why Thijs van der Hoorn. Sometimes you see him, you'll see him in P11, P10. And you'll wonder how on earth has he got the standings laid, and that's just because of his consistency. He's absolutely consistently right near the top. Every race, he often finds himself in a couple of mistakes in certain things, like he had a very, shall we say, eventful PLR season this last time out, and found himself in a lot of crashes and whatnot, that were mostly not his fault, but unfortunately found himself collected in that battle. But yeah, in the Racing to the Weekend series, he's been incredibly clean and consistent, and that's why he's our Season 1 winner and is also our DSRT World Champion.
Yeah, and this Season 2 then of Racing to the Weekend, somebody needs to put him off his throne, to be honest, because he's winning everything. Maybe this guy, Mr. Thomas Vrouwenraad. He's currently P1 here, just promoted to official DSRT driver. Don't forget it, together with Boris Schmidt. He set a lap time of a 140 flat, and nobody else was able to do that. The only one now is Bradley Burgett with a 139.9, but it doesn't count as his best lap time, so it wasn't off track. So the best lap time is still in the hands of Mr. Vrouwenraad, and 9.3 seconds, and the timings of the screen is 10 seconds away from each other. That's amazing to drive away in these conditions.
Yeah, it's probably one thing worth noting that when the track was damp as well, it was a lot of I was set in sort of 139.5 region, and if we think the wet track is probably about 2 or 3 seconds a lap slower, you just really start to see that these guys are half a second slower, but that's on a wet track than what I was on a damp track. So these guys really on the limit, finding the limit of the car, and knowing exactly where to put their car tonight. And yeah, you can see Thomas Vrouwenraad's getting the best out of it at the moment, to the tune of about 10 seconds over Bradley Burgett. Bradley Burgett, though, he's exceptional in the wet conditions. Did very well in the Donington 4 hour. Me and him were incredible teammates. He ended up pulling about 3 hours out of nowhere and just wanted to improve on a long stint and just ended up staying in the car forever. And it found ourselves, I think we were P5 at the end. We had a fantastic race, and then that was down to how well Bradley Burgett does in these wet conditions. As we can just see from the driver's eye point of view, Thijs van der Hoorn absolutely soaked in spray. I think that was Zvonimir Burek just politely getting out of the way, and technically it's a position overall that's gained from Thijs van der Hoorn, as he's now back onto the battle for P3. That little dot in the foreground that's now ever so clear was Mr. Desert Penguin. That's how much the driver can see coming out of these corners, and yeah, believe me, it's difficult to see his little wall tap for Thijs van der Hoorn there as well.
I didn't understand that one, to be honest. We get 15 seconds back or something. What happened here?
Yeah, it looked like
coming
he just
out of
got
the
it
corner.
wrong.
I think he hit the steering wheel or something, or misjudged himself. I don't know what happened, but yeah, he just tapped the wall there all by himself. As Metzel went off track here again. But yeah, that was really strange.
I'll tell you what he is doing. He's doing the pro gamer strategy. He knows he's got so much pace on the guy ahead. He's just going to hit himself on the wall, slow himself down so that he can overtake safely. See, that's the pro gamer move that not many people know.
No, I see aerodynamic changing move. That's normally you go in the pit lane, you change the aerodynamics in the front of the car. He noticed that he had so much grip in the front that he removed a part of his wing, so he had more speed. Yeah, that's probably the reason.
Not many people know this strategy. It's usually just me that knows this strategy, and that's why I hit it. But
that's why Juan destroys his whole car, so he doesn't have a plate on the car. He thinks he's faster with that, but that's not how it works.
What Juan goes for is the weight reduction technique. As we can see, Marcel again just finding that GT4 just a little bit more difficult to drive than the GT3, shall we say, just as a small understatement. But going back to Juan, when he hits the wall, he's doing the weight reduction strategy. He wants to remove as many body parts as possible. Whether it's actual
the only strategy Juan needs is to get weight reduction himself. But
Juan, if you're still listening, I can only apologise for Mr. Guru. No, it's great to see, and yeah, not entirely sure what happened to Thijs van der Hoorn there, but obviously it hasn't phased him, has it? Because it's right back down the neck of Mr. Desert Penguin. And who's that? That's the number 5 car. Is that Stein Hillhorst that's finding these wet conditions ever so fun at the Super Trofeo car?
Yeah.
It absolutely is. He's getting involved in this fight, and Thijs van der Hoorn having to back out and play it safe, and looks like Mr. Zvonimir Burek now breathing down his neck. Jonathan Wallstrom's joined the fun. We got this
almost 3-wide battle here.
Look at them. We got Zvonimir Burek just leading these, and out of the GT3 class, which every point matters at the moment, and it's Thijs just ahead of Jonathan Wallstrom. There is 4 Super Trofeo cars we should probably mention, which means they do qualify for the points system that we have in place in racing to the weekend. If you want to find out more about that, please join our Discord, because I can't remember that off the top of my head. But yeah, Thijs started P4 on that lap, and a little tiny mistake saw him fall back 2 places, Guru.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the Super Trofeos, Hillhorst and Zvonimir Burek, really close to each other as well, battling it out with the GT3 class. Thijs van der Hoorn then falling back a little, and now under pressure from Mr. Wexstrom, who's in that Bentley, and yeah, he fall back a few positions as well. In the meantime, in the front is Vrouwenraad's Birgit and Desert Penguin. Yeah, they are so much separated from each other. The only one in danger is Mr. Penguin here, now under pressure of Mr. Hillhorst, who takes the inside line here and tries to make a move. But yeah, the outside line is a little bit faster here. But can Mr. Hillhorst make a move in the next corners? It's difficult. Overtaking here at Zolder, there are a few spots that you can try. We saw it in race 2, but it is so close and so difficult to manage that, to do it cleanly. And I think the best part is coming out of the last corner on start finish line, this straight, to do it, or maybe make a move on the inside here. But this is also, yeah, you have to brake so early to get this corner correctly, but you can lose so much time. And the next one is a bend. It's so difficult. Where is a great overtaking maneuver here on Zolder?
I'd probably say not through this section. We see a lot of people in open lobbies try and make an overtaking in this section. Ooh. It's not there for me, as I think Zvonimir Burek just misjudged that and almost collected Stein Hillhorst. I think it's coming out of this corner and going towards the hairpin. If you get a good run, this is possibly my favourite overtaking spot on the track, as we saw Mark Toll rather famously in race 2 dart from one side across the other and make a very, shall we say, aggressive, but shall we say fair move. It was great to see. And then probably the other spot on the track is overtaken into the last chicane, like you said, Mr. Guru, and that's where we saw Mr. Penguin do it. And Penguin into the pits. What's going on here?
I think he's still on dry tires. I don't know. But yeah,
that would possibly explain it if he was on dry tires, because this guy normally an alien. I'm wondering if he's made, sadly, a similar mistake to what I ended up making in race 2, which is you've got to put more fuel in after qualifying. But that's unfortunate to see. Desert Penguin in that hunt for the standing lead in racing to the weekend, sadly finds himself now in pit lane and falling back. So Thijs van der Hoorn picking up those pieces, and Stijn Hilhorst, the legend in the Super Trofeo, doing very well. Very impressive driving from him in P3. Just want to mention about Stijn Hilhorst, actually. He's making the change over to iRacing this weekend. Found a promotion and wants to get involved and was asking for some help. So, yeah, nice to see that he's broadening his horizons outside of ACC as well.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And I think for the point scoring system, it will be amazing for him. And yeah, we have some endurance events also in iRacing with DSRT, and I think it will be an opportunity for him to find out how iRacing is and if it's enjoyable for him, and maybe do some races with the guys as well. Yeah, the iRace into the week, we had some people in the Discord for that. Some joined the Road to Legends program as well. So if you are into iRacing, check out the Tuesdays. We have iRacing into the week. And yeah, it's the same event, only 2 races long. And yeah, we do it on iRacing. And I think it's an amazing setup. It needs some work, I guess, to get some more people in. It's difficult. It's different than ACC, of course, with all the paid tracks and the subscriptions. But yeah, still a nice thing that we are setting up, and it's in the beginning. And I remember the beginning of ACC, we had like I said, 3 people in the first few streams driving the track around, and yeah, amazingly enough, you can see that it's always getting better.
Yeah, we had a relatively good turnout for race 1 on Tuesday, and unfortunately we didn't have that good of a turnout, so work to be done, definitely. And it's always difficult to find a car and track combination that's accessible for everybody to drive, but also fun enough so that it challenges those more experienced drivers as well. We can see the combination at Zolder here. We can find that it's always great to drive around Zolder, whether you're being able to put 128s, 129s in the dry, or whether you're able to put even faster times there. It's always great to kind of see the accessibility for these drivers. It's a bit more difficult to find in iRacing, so a little bit more work probably needs to be done on those Tuesdays. But yeah, look at how far ACC has come with the Racing to the Weekend series in just a short time, and I think we'll be back up there with iRacing in next no time.
Yeah, we tested it out, and it's just finding that track combination with the car combination. And Ruben Solly just got a drive-through as well here, so that's not good for him. He went
Sorry,
off
I
track.
shouldn't have laughed at that. I just keep on laughing at Mr. Ruben Solly. He's going to be my teammate for one of the races. I won't spoil it too much, but one of the races coming up, he's going to be one of my teammates. And he's very adamant about making sure that the track limits are very strict, and we keep within those track limits, and then has got a drive-through for track limits. So that's what I was laughing at, was the fact that unfortunately, yeah, it happens to us all. We all are found to possibly wonder our track limits a little bit too much sometimes. And one of these people that have managed to avoid it on this occasion is Thomas Brownrats. Look at the lead he's surmounted. Absolutely bossed it this race. And if anything, he's got a 23-second lead. If he really wanted to, could back off a little bit in this last lap and not have to do another lap.
It's still 29 seconds to go. I don't know what the 140s. I think he can manage that. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, he's got a 24-second lap. 24-second lap. A 24-second lead over Mr. Bradley Burgett. So he could really afford to back off if he wanted to, or he could afford to push that little bit more and try and get one more lap out of it. I think he's realised.
I would really break here. 3, 2, 1.
He's gone for that extra lap, hasn't he? The absolute mad lad.
Yeah.
He's gone for
I
the
thought he
extra
was taking off some throttle there, but not enough. It was like 1 second, 2 seconds. He needed to brake a little bit to take that victory, but he thought, I'm enjoying this so much, let's do another lap. So there he goes for the final lap then. Thomas Brownrats, 22 seconds ahead of Bradley Burgett. And 12 seconds behind Bradley Burgett is Mr. Stijn Hilhorst and that Super Trofeo car. A really great performance to do that in this car in these conditions. Ruben Solly is still driving. He has that... Svanemir Burek has a drive-through, I just saw.
Oh, it looks like everybody's got one at this moment in time. Yeah, they're all sort of struggling. One person I'd probably we missed the action on.
Oh, late braking there.
Ooh. Nicely. Oh, I thought Swanavia was waiting for him. I guess not. No, I probably want to mention actually that Jonathan Watchram actually found his way back past Thijs van der Hoorn. So whether that was a mistake on Thijs's half or whether that was a great move from Mr. Watchram, we didn't actually see on stream, sadly. But yeah, that Boatley finding himself in P4, and I think he'd be quite happy with that. P3 in class, obviously, for him. That's the points he's going to be picking up for the championship, and doesn't really need to push past Stein Hillhorst. I think Stein will be very happy with the P3 overall, and also that lead in the Super Trofeo. Over to Thomas Roundrats then. Let's see him through the last chicane as he picks up all the points he can surmount, and a very nice weave on stream just to say he's very happy with that. I think that's his one of, if not his very first victory in GT3 class. And yeah, quite nicely flashing his lights onto the stream. That's one of the bingo things for him. I think he's waited on the line, hasn't he? Oh, he's...
There he goes. That's the finish then of Thomas Brouwerats. Yeah, he could do that. A little cheeky there. But yeah, he did it. He won the GT3 class. Bradley Berger then second, and Waxrum will take up P3, I guess.
Tell you something. This will be for the bragging rights of Bradley Berger. He's actually teammate to Thomas Brownrats as well. Just before we see Stan Hillhorst cross the line, he can actually say that he gained 12 seconds on Mr. Thomas Brownrats on that last lap alone. So I think Mr. Bradley Berger will be happy with that one. So Jonathan Armstrong actually gains P3 overall ahead of Stein Hillhorst P4. Thijs van der Hoorn P5, and a great series of races for him. Probably not the way he wanted it, but it was still consistent points nonetheless for him. Swanimir Burek with that drive-through opts not to take it, and I think he'll end up getting a 30-second penalty for it ahead of his brother, who presumably will jump ahead of him after those have gone through. Desert Penguin still going round, but sadly had to pit for some reason, probably to put fuel in the car. Finds himself in P8. And Morten Pierman Jensen, another top 10 for him. We've got to keep on saying this. This is a guy that's spent a lot of time on the sim recently, just trying to do stuff. He's now entered a league in the Porsche Cup car, so he's doing very well, and always nice to see the progression that he's making. In the Super Trofeo, flashing the lights for all the entertainment to see, and yeah, nice to see him in a car that's not that McLaren that he famously drives, crossing the line in P9. Ruben Solly with the drive-through just finds himself negotiating it. He'll have won the GT4 class, sadly not scoring points at this point, and as he attempts to do a drift show for us, and yeah, successfully I'd say pulled that off today. A bit more successfully than what he did into the iRace of the Week season that we had on Tuesday in the V8 Supercars. Finds himself rounding out top 10 overall, but also the lead into that GT4 class, and a huge drift for him. And I think that's a gravel, mate. I'm not entirely sure if that's the line you were opting to take there. Chris Muller sadly got taken out and finds himself in P11, and Matt Sill rounds up the top 12 for you.
This concludes Racing to the Weekend number 65 then, and yeah, thank you very much, Impulse, for all your input on track and off track, and being here with me and commentating.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Always a pleasure to be up here in the comms box, so thank you very much for having me, sir.
No problem. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, on Tuesday we have the iRace into the week, so make sure you tune in as well. Yeah, you could see the discord.me/DSRT if you want to join our sponsors and everything. Yeah, make sure you get those discount codes as well. For us, it is over. We have weekend, guys, so enjoy your weekend and hopefully see you on Tuesday. Bye bye, good night.
Pedal to the metal, hear the engines roar.